Before we head back to court, let's bring in national trial attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, great to see you. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me here on the program. First and foremost, I want to talk about the testimony thus far of Lieutenant Biggers. As I said earlier, I mean, when you talk about our men in blue, men and women in blue, I mean, this is a perfect example of what the vast majority of these public servants are like. And I was just really impressed by his approach to this case, because I was shocked that he said, in this day and age, a missing persons case takes 30 days before it moves over into some other case. With the type of technology going on, that seems weird to me. But anyway, your thoughts?
That kind of shocked me when he said that, because I did not know that they wait about a month to progress it. And because what he said was the overwhelming majority of these is just somebody running away and not wanting to come home. And so we just usually look at friends' data and friends' metadata and cell phones and text messages, and we usually find the person that way. So that did surprise me. But what a beast of a witness. My God, I can't wait for the cross-examination. I don't think they could really cross-examine this guy. This guy's unimpeachable, right? The way he cried, and he got me a little bit emotional. And you can't, as a defense attorney, I think this is the hardest task any defense attorney ever has to do, is to cross-examine a witness that everybody loves.
Yeah, it's very tough. We've seen the defense do that a couple of times from the prosecutor. So let's bring in our guest here, national trial attorney Michael Jaafar is still with us. Michael, you said you wanted to see what the defense would do with this witness. We just saw it. What'd you make of it?
I thought it was weak. I don't think, obviously they could not come in here and hammer him, but I thought it was weak. I thought she started with a joke. I like that. She brought it home, and I would have wished she would have started with, look, thank you so much for the great service you're doing, especially for this family and trying to find the culprit of this crime. But she asked him this awkward question about the social media posts and the leaves. I know what she was trying to get to, but she didn't really bring it in, and she just seemed, with the gravity and the drama of his direct testimony, just the drama of it, the theater of it, she kind of got out there and just was kind of a little comical. I didn't like it. Thought it was weak.
All right, so what you said, you know what she was trying to do. And in my estimation, what she's trying to do, again, it's a difficult job sometimes to be a defense attorney. You got a young woman who was murdered. But as part of your narrative, I would imagine he's going to take the stand and say, she had some involvement. There was some voluntariness here. So you need to show that that's possible within her personality. And I think that's where she was going. Do you agree?
That's exactly where I thought she was going, and I agree with it. And I know that this witness is important, because what the prosecution is trying to do, obviously, is narrow the scope of time of the disappearance, so that later on they can come in here and say, we have the Life 360 app showing her movement, we have his phone, we see his movements, and so they're trying to narrow it. But I feel like they did such a fantastic job with this witness that her coming out here, because her narrative is going to have to be what you said, which is she had some involvement, the meth and the drugs. I just felt like it was a little bit weak. She could have just done more jokes with him and just shown that, hey, we're on the same team. We're trying to find who did this. It's not my client, by the way, but thank you for your service.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I agree. I see where you're going with that. The other thing that I thought that was really important towards the end of Lieutenant Biggers' testimony was he established that from the defendant's apartment, you could see where she lived. And I think, again, we've got this theme that he was creepy and did some creepy things. And the first thing that came to mind was he was probably watching her. So that's really helpful for the state.
Yeah, there's only two possibilities. He's either a very, very innocent and unlucky person, or he's a murdering, raping psychopath. That's it. Those are the only two options. So if you're the prosecution, you want to paint him as a second option, and that's why you could see her apartment, and oh, by the way, you're obsessed with her. So I think this witness was awful for the defense, great for the prosecution, because it's furthering that narrative.
Michael, quickly, I only got about 30 seconds left. It's clear from opening statements of the defense that this witness is defendant's going to take the stand. He's going to cop to something. She's just saying he's not guilty of the top charge here.
He's going to have to, because at the end of the day, at least you have a Boy Scout. He's 23 years old. He's a former police officer. He's gone through the background checks. He's the person you would want to put on the stand, especially after this Lieutenant Biggers. You're going to have to get somebody on the stand, the defendant, to say, I would never do this.
Yeah. It's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. All right. Michael Jaafar, thank you so much for being with us this hour. Truly